All right, Greenleaf fans, this is my episode 6 review. It is 1 week late, but I did watch episodes 5 and 6 back to back from what was it, 1:30 a.m. to about 3 a.m. I did take a little break in between the stretch because I take notes while I'm watching these episodes, folks, but I did give episode 5 an 8 out of 10. The Stranger, 9 out of 10. I thought it was a pretty solid episode. I felt like the flow of it was a bit better in terms of the pacing. But here we go. I'm just going to jump into it. And guys, you know the drill by now. If you are new, please hit that subscribe button. It looks like the channel is a bit back on track in regards to pacing, to getting about 50 to 70 plus subscribers a day. We just hit 92,000 on Sunday, so hopefully around this time next week we'll be at around 93. And you know the drill, I'm trying to hit 100,000 soon. Links to my social media are in the description below. And without further ado, we're going to get into The Stranger. Make sure you comment some of your favorite moments from the episode, as well as what you thought about it. And here we go. Grace and May are talking about AJ. Lady May wants to meet her grandson. And they pretty much talk about how, hey, bring him over for dinner. And, she just try to console Grace. And to be honest, I think even Phil mentions this later in the episode when Charity's talking to him. But having an outside child or somebody, along those lines, it really isn't a big deal nowadays in terms of the social norm. Like, it's really not looked down upon as much as it was a few years ago. I mean, sure, some people might, look at you a bit strange in the church, but at the same time, everyone has skeletons in their closet. It's almost like, not to get too much off topic here, but people who come out of the closet, is it really that big of a deal nowadays in regards to how people react? Again, different people react different ways, friends, family, whatever the situation is. But going into that, Charity comes in and May and Grace stare her down because they know that she overheard what happened. And it's like, who am I going to tell? And Grace keeps trying to call AJ, but, he's not answering the phone. She wants to invite him over for dinner. But then we have Bishop and May talking about the situation. And Bishop remembers the night that Gigi called asking for money, but he said, I was going to come down there myself to pick you up. But he just heard in her voice that, he imagined her being proud and, independent, but not thinking that she was pregnant. And if I had went down there to pick her up, maybe things would have turned out differently. And it's kind of interesting because the way that she called asking for money really reminds me of how AJ does, like, you going to help me out or not? But then we have Karina, just sitting at her desk. Jacob comes in and pretty much, looking over the fight between him and the Red Devils, trying to break it up. And the fact that Charity goes to see Phil and tells Phil about AJ with glee. And it's just like, come on now, how are you going to go one episode saying, for like the 5th time this season, I don't want to snoop, it's wrong, I feel guilty. But now it's like, hey, you know what, I got some dirt. But Phil isn't sure they can really use this information to take them down. But then we have Jacob going to see Phil, and we'll get to that in a minute. But Grace gets a phone call. It's about AJ being arrested in jail and needs her to come down. And we have AJ pretty much wanting Grace to lie, pretty much coming up for false alibi. And it's kind of crazy how I'm done with you. This is it. I don't want to have anything to do with you. But every time he's in a jam, who does he call but his mama? All right, so then we have Jacob and Phil, and pretty much Bob wants Jacob removed ASAP. That's pretty much it. He gets fired. So 2 episodes in a row, Jacob loses his job with the Red Devils. Now he's lost his job with the church. That's something else. I feel bad for him. And all he was trying to do was the right thing. He was in that board meeting trying to get the homeless program, picked up by, Calvary / Harmony and Hope. Goes down there to try to calm down Dante, gets caught into this mess, and now loses both of his jobs. Man. Then he texts Carissa talking about how he got fired from the church too. Then we have Grace seeing the footage and evidence from the robbery at the pharmacy, and it's clearly AJ, not based off the color of the hoodie, the fact that there are fingerprints and everything like that. And well, she lies and gets to get him out of jail. So then we have Fernando and Carissa with the check, and she confronts him about working for Harmony and Hope, but they're independently funded by Harmony and Hope. And she pretty much kind of has an emotional moment of the fact that, you know, we sold the land, we got the check, but it's not even half what we need to pay for the house that we wanted to sell the land for due to the fact that my husband lost both of his jobs. Fernando cuts another check, I guess you could say making up for the half needed for the house, under the condition that Carissa keeps the Harmony and Hope secret under wraps. So yeah, and she wants to see her sooner than later after the check clears. Then we have Grace and AJ, going to the car. She's mad about it. And then the fact that, hey, you're coming over to the family to meet with dinner. Well, you're coming over to the house to meet with the family for dinner. Then we have Jacob about to call Tasha, but then Carissa comes in. But May calls Jacob to come home because of the fact that they need to meet Grace's son. And it's kind of funny because she's walking around the house with the maid, pretty much putting away everything that's a bit valuable due to the fact that AJ was an ex-con. But then after that, we have Carissa snapping on him because she comes over to go celebrate the fact that they have the money for the house. And Jacob is a bit suspicious due to the fact that 1 minute you say we don't have enough money, then I lost my job. So now you're saying you found some mystery money in order to pay off the house. And she's mad that he isn't putting her first, and he leaves. She calls Fernando. After that, AJ meets with his grandparents and then goes down to meet Zora. After that, Bishop gets a call from Millard, pretty much a detective coming there to see Grace. AJ meets Zora, asked if he wants to get high, and then they have footage of Grace and AJ talking with no audio, but the detective figures that AJ was looking for Grace to come up with an alibi for him. And then it hits the fan because of the fact that May gets wind of this, and pretty much, Grace lied under oath to protect her son. May wants AJ to say that he didn't do it, but it comes down to May wanting to get the church back. That trumps everything over family. And that's kind of, the fact that she's dismissing her own grandson she just met because she doesn't want any kind of stains on Grace's perfect record, if you will, in order to get the church back. So it's kind of weird how May's preaching about we need to get our own house in order before we actually get the church back in the right way. But that's, it's heads or tails. But in any case, Jacob and Charity both show up pretty much in the midst of this argument. AJ storms out. May confronts Grace about going down to the police station to tell the truth. And, then we go right before that where Carissa and Fernando start going at it. Literally, that's what it is. And later that night, AJ is confronted by Grace, and we see that he has a bag, like a Ziploc bag full of, it looks like everything he took from the pharmacy. But in any case, this was probably one of my favorite moments of the episode. I honestly kind of teared up myself when Grace gave AJ the car keys, and I think that he threw them back at her, saying that you do the same in regards to take care. But Grace doesn't want her son to go. And then AJ is like, hey, this shouldn't have happened. Pretty much the situation of he feels bad because his presence is screwing up Grace's life. The fact that they were trying to get to know each other was a mistake. And Grace literally breaks down. That was literally my favorite part of the episode because it was definitely the most emotional for me as a viewer there. But then we have Jacob cleaning up his office. Charity's in there with Phil, pretty much recording the fact that Grace lied under oath. She has the recording. And then they hug, and then they start kissing, and then the end of the episode we have Jacob seeing the whole thing. But then we have Bishop and May talking in bed, and Bishop's about to leave, but May lets him sleep in the bed with her. But aside from that, looking over the notes, we have Carissa coming home from celebrating. Jacob's awake, waiting for her. And, she got a little drunk, but at the same time, her and Jacob kind of go at it a bit because he has to go back to the church to get a few things. But she takes a shower, obviously feels guilty about what she did. But overall, 9 out of 10. I thought it was a pretty solid episode from start to finish. The preview, I will be recording my trailer breakdown after I finish, hitting the stop button on this recording. But yeah, I'm kind of glad that I waited to watch both episodes back to back due to the fact that I don't think one episode is enough to carry me from week to week. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the episode, The Stranger. What do you think about it? What do you think is next for AJ? Do you think Grace will go down to the police station to tell the truth? Yeah. So as always, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, and I will talk to you all later.